I never thought I'd be the kind of woman who'd destroy a man's entire life, but here we are. My name is Sarah, and 6 weeks ago, I discovered something that shattered me so completely that I'm still finding pieces of who I used to be scattered in places I didn't even know existed. This isn't just a story about infidelity. I could almost forgive that, as twisted as that sounds. This is about cruelty. This is about a betrayal so deep, so calculated, so deliberately vicious that when I finally understood the full scope of what had been done to me, I became someone I didn't recognize. Someone capable of revenge. Someone who would burn down everything we built just to watch him suffer the way he made me suffer. And I don't feel guilty about it. Not even a little bit. If you've ever been betrayed by the person you trusted most in this world, hit that subscribe button right now because this story will validate every angry thought you've ever had. And comment below if you think revenge is ever justified. I need to know I'm not crazy for what I did. My husband Marcus and I had been trying to get pregnant for 4 years. 4 years of negative tests, failed IVF cycles, hormone injections that made me feel insane, appointments with specialists who spoke in percentages and probabilities, and hope that died a little more each month when my period came. We'd spent over $80,000, our entire savings, money we'd been putting away for a house, for our future, on fertility treatments that kept failing. And through it all, Marcus was there. Or so I thought. He held my hand during procedures. He gave me the injections when I couldn't do it myself. He told me it didn't matter, that we'd get through this together, that even if we never had biological children, he loved me, and that was enough. I believed him. God, I believed every word. 3 months ago, we went in for what was supposed to be our final IVF attempt. We decided this would be the last time. We were emotionally exhausted, financially drained, and I couldn't take another failure. Dr. Morrison did the embryo transfer, and we waited. 2 weeks of hoping, praying, barely breathing. I took the pregnancy test at home first, even though I wasn't supposed to. Negative. I took 3 more. All negative. But I still held on to this desperate sliver of hope that maybe it was too early, maybe the home tests were wrong, maybe the blood test would tell a different story. Marcus came with me to the appointment to get the results. We sat in that sterile office with the pastel watercolor paintings and the box of tissues strategically placed on Dr. Morrison's desk, the tissues that are there because they know they're about to destroy someone's dreams. Dr. Morrison came in with that look on her face, that sympathetic expression that I'd seen too many times before, and I knew before she even opened her mouth. Sarah, I'm so sorry. The test was negative. The embryo didn't implant. I remember the sound that came out of me. It wasn't crying, not really. It was this guttural, animal sound of grief. 4 years of trying, of hoping, of suffering, and it had all been for nothing. I was never going to be a mother. My body had failed me in the most fundamental way, and I felt like I was dying right there in that chair. Dr. Morrison was saying something about other options, about adoption, about taking time to heal, but I couldn't hear her over the roaring in my ears. And then I felt Marcus's hand on my shoulder, and I turned to him for comfort, for shared grief, for the partnership we'd built through all of this. He was looking at his phone. Marcus. My voice was barely a whisper. He glanced up, but his expression wasn't grief. It was annoyance. Yeah, sorry. Work emergency. Dr. Morrison, is there anything else? We need to go. I stared at him in disbelief. Work emergency. Marcus, we just found out. I know, and I'm sorry, babe, but this can't wait. We'll talk about it tonight, okay? He stood up, already heading for the door. Dr. Morrison looked as shocked as I felt. Mr. Chen, your wife has just received very difficult news. Perhaps you could. I really need to go. Sarah, I'll meet you at home. And he left. He actually walked out of that office while I was still crying, still processing that I'd never carry our child, still bleeding emotionally all over that chair. Pause right here and tell me in the comments, would you ever forgive something like this? Because this was just the beginning of my nightmare. And if you're not subscribed yet, do it now because you need to hear what I discovered next. Dr. Morrison looked at me with such pity that it made me feel even worse. Sarah, I'm so sorry. Would you like me to call someone to pick you up? A friend or family member? I shook my head. I didn't want anyone to see me like this. I sat in that office for another 20 minutes, crying while Dr. Morrison gently talked about support groups and therapy, and giving myself time to grieve. Finally, I pulled myself together enough to drive home. The whole way, I kept thinking about Marcus's reaction. How cold he'd been. How dismissive. How he'd literally walked out on me during the worst moment of my life. When I got home, his car wasn't in the driveway. The work emergency was apparently still ongoing. I went inside, crawled into bed, and cried until I had nothing left. Around 8 p.m., I heard the garage door open. Marcus came upstairs and I expected him to come into the bedroom immediately, to apologize for leaving, to finally be there for me. Instead, I heard him in his office on the phone. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I left so abruptly, but I had to get out of there. She was being so dramatic about it. No, I'm serious, she was practically wailing. It was embarrassing. I don't know, maybe we just weren't meant to have kids. Maybe her body's trying to tell us something. No, I haven't told her yet. I will, I just need to figure out the timing. I miss you too. Tomorrow night, same place. I love you too. I don't remember walking to his office. I don't remember opening the door. But suddenly I was standing there, and he was spinning around in his chair, his phone clutched to his chest, his face going pale. Sarah. Who were you talking to? It was a client. A difficult client who? You told a client you loved them. You told a client you'd see them tomorrow night at the same place. Marcus, who the fuck were you talking to? He stood up, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. But also calculation. He was deciding how much to admit, how much he could get away with lying about. Okay, you're right. That wasn't a client. That was. Sarah, we need to talk. Oh, now we need to talk. Not in Dr. Morrison's office when we found out I'll never have a baby. Not when I was sobbing in that chair. But now, when I've caught you on the phone with whoever the hell that was, now we need to talk. I was going to tell you. I've been trying to find the right time. Tell me what? That you're fucking someone else. That while I've been pumping myself full of hormones and having needles shoved into me and spending every dollar we have trying to give you a child, you've been out screwing around. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Marcus? Explain it to me. Comment below right now if you would have walked out immediately, or if you would have stayed to hear his pathetic excuse. And smash that subscribe button because his excuse is even more disgusting than you can imagine. He ran his hand through his hair, and I could see him choosing his words carefully. Her name is Jennifer. She works in my department. It started about 6 months ago. It was just. Sarah, you've been so obsessed with getting pregnant. That's all you think about, all you talk about. You track your ovulation, you schedule sex, you cry every month when it doesn't work. I felt like I was just a sperm donor, not a husband. Jennifer made me feel like a person again. I laughed. Actually laughed. I've been obsessed with getting pregnant. We decided to do this together. You said you wanted a baby as much as I did. You held my hand through every appointment, every injection, every failure. And now you're telling me that while I was destroying my body trying to give us a family, you were complaining to your mistress about how obsessed I was. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it then? Because it sounds like you're blaming me for your affair. Like I forced you to cheat by having the audacity to go through fertility treatments that you agreed to. You're twisting my words. No, I'm repeating your words. You said I was being dramatic in Dr. Morrison's office. You said I was practically wailing. You said it was embarrassing. I had just found out I can't have children, Marcus. I had just been told that the thing we've been working toward for 4 years is never going to happen. And you thought my grief was embarrassing. You thought I was being dramatic. He had the decency to look ashamed. I shouldn't have said those things. I was just. Jennifer was upset that I had to cut our lunch short to go to the appointment with you, and I was trying to smooth things over. I felt like he'd physically slapped me. Wait. That's where you were. On your phone in Dr. Morrison's office when I was crying. You were texting your mistress. And then you called her after you left to apologize for having to be there for your wife. Sarah. Answer me. Is that what happened? Yes. Okay. Yes. I was texting Jennifer in the office, and I called her after because I felt bad about leaving her at the restaurant. Are you happy now? I wasn't happy. I was homicidal. You left me alone in that office, crying over the death of every hope and dream I've had for 4 years, so you could call your mistress and tell her I was being dramatic. You told her my grief was embarrassing. You mocked my infertility to impress another woman. I wasn't trying to impress her. Get out. What? Get the fuck out of this house right now. Go stay with Jennifer. Go be with the woman who thinks my pain is so amusing. But get away from me before I do something we'll both regret. If you think what he did was unforgivable, drop a comment saying unforgivable and hit that like button. And please subscribe because what I did next will shock you. Marcus left that night. Packed a bag and walked out without another word. I sat in our bedroom, my bedroom now, and felt something shift inside me. The grief was still there, the pain of my infertility, the loss of the future I'd imagined. But underneath it was something new. Something cold and calculating and hungry for revenge. Because Marcus hadn't just cheated on me. He'd mocked my deepest pain to his mistress. He'd made me a joke, a punchline, an embarrassing burden he had to deal with. And for that, he was going to pay. I called my best friend Rachel at midnight. She answered on the second ring, voice groggy. Sarah? What's wrong? Marcus is having an affair. She was instantly awake. What? Are you sure? I heard him on the phone with her. He admitted it. Rachel, he walked out of Dr. Morrison's office today while I was crying about the failed IVF, and he called her. He told her I was being dramatic. He mocked me, Rachel. He made fun of my infertility to impress his mistress. There was a long silence. Then Rachel said, in a voice I'd never heard from her before, I'm going to kill him. Get in line. But first, I need your help with something. Anything. I need to know everything about Jennifer. Everything. Where she works, where she lives, who her friends are, who her family is. Can you help me? Sarah, what are you planning? I'm planning to make sure Marcus understands exactly what he's done. That he feels a fraction of the pain he's caused me. Are you in? I'm in. Rachel worked in HR for a large corporation, and had access to databases and search tools that I didn't. By morning, she'd sent me a complete dossier on Jennifer Martinez. 28 years old, worked in Marcus's department as a junior analyst, unmarried, no children, lived alone in an apartment downtown. She had an Instagram full of selfies and gym photos and cocktail pictures. She looked young and carefree and nothing like me, exhausted, puffy from hormones, grieving. But the most interesting thing Rachel found was that Jennifer had a boyfriend. His name was Tyler, and he was a personal trainer at the gym where Jennifer posted all those workout selfies. They'd been together for 3 years, lived together, and from his Instagram, he was clearly crazy about her. There were pictures of them on vacation, at concerts, at dinner, always with captions about how lucky he was and how much he loved her. Jennifer was cheating on Tyler with Marcus. And Tyler had no idea. Tell me in the comments, was I wrong to involve Tyler in this? Or did he deserve to know the truth? Because what I did next changed everything. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now because the revenge part is coming. I created a fake Facebook account using a stock photo and a generic name. I sent Tyler a message. I know you don't know me, but I have information about Jennifer that I think you need to see. She's been having an affair with a married man named Marcus Chen. They've been together for 6 months. I'm the man's wife and I just found out. I thought you deserved to know too. I attached screenshots of Marcus's phone records showing hundreds of calls and texts to Jennifer's number. I attached photos that Rachel had pulled from the company directory showing Marcus and Jennifer at a work event, standing a little too close. I hit send and waited. Tyler responded within an hour. Is this real? Do you have proof? I sent him everything. Copies of text messages I'd recovered from Marcus's laptop. Photos of credit card statements showing expensive dinners and hotel rooms that Marcus had paid for while telling me we couldn't afford another round of IVF. A recording of the phone call I'd overheard where Marcus told Jennifer he loved her. Tyler's response was a single word, fuck. Then, can we meet? I need to talk to someone who understands what this feels like. We met at a coffee shop the next day. Tyler was tall, muscular, exactly what you'd expect from a personal trainer. But his eyes were red and swollen like he'd been crying. We sat down, and he just stared at his coffee for a long moment before speaking. I was going to propose to her next month. I had the ring picked out and everything. I thought she was the one. I'm so sorry, Tyler. I know how you feel. I thought Marcus was my partner through everything. I destroyed my body trying to give him a child, and he repaid me by mocking my pain to your girlfriend. Tyler looked up sharply. He what? I told him everything. About the fertility treatments, the failed IVF, Marcus walking out of Dr. Morrison's office, the phone call where he called me dramatic and embarrassing. Tyler's hands clenched into fists. That's fucking disgusting. Jennifer told me Marcus's wife was some controlling bitch who made his life miserable. She made you sound like a monster so I wouldn't feel bad about what they were doing. But you're not a monster. You're just a woman who wanted a family with the men she loved. And Jennifer's not a poor innocent girl who fell for a married man. She's a homewrecker who helped destroy my marriage and lied to you for 6 months. We've both been played, Tyler. What do we do about it? I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. We make them face consequences. Together. Comment below if you think I went too far with what I did next. And subscribe because you're about to see the most satisfying revenge story you've ever heard. Tyler and I spent the next 2 weeks planning. We synchronized our efforts, made sure every detail was perfect. On a Friday afternoon, I called Marcus and told him I'd had time to think, that maybe we could work through this, that I wanted to meet for dinner to talk. He agreed immediately, probably relieved that I wasn't going to make the divorce difficult. We planned to meet at his favorite restaurant at 7 p.m. At the same time, Tyler told Jennifer he had a surprise for her, and to meet him at the same restaurant at 7 p.m. She had no idea Marcus would be there. Marcus had no idea Jennifer would be there. And neither of them had any idea that Tyler and I had reserved a private dining room, where we'd invited everyone who mattered in their lives. I'd invited Marcus's parents, his brother, his boss, and several of his colleagues from work. Tyler had invited Jennifer's parents, her sister, and her best friends. We'd also hired a private investigator to document everything, to make sure we had evidence of their reactions, their admissions, their desperate attempts to explain themselves. When Marcus arrived at the restaurant, the hostess directed him to the private dining room. He walked in expecting to see me, ready to have a quiet conversation about reconciliation. Instead, he found himself facing his mother, his father, his brother, his boss, and me sitting at the head of the table with a projector screen behind me. Sarah? What is this? What's going on? Sit down, Marcus. We're going to have that talk you wanted. His face went white. He looked at his parents, at his brother, clearly trying to figure out if they knew why they were there. His mother looked confused, his father stern, his brother concerned. Mom? Dad? What are you doing here? His mother stood up. Sarah called us and said it was an emergency, that we needed to come immediately. Marcus, what's going on? I think your son should explain, I said calmly. But in case he's feeling shy, I've prepared a presentation. I clicked the remote, and the screen lit up behind me. The first slide was a photo of Marcus and Jennifer kissing in a parking lot, time-stamped 3 months ago. His mother gasped. His father's expression turned thunderous. Marcus James Chen, what the hell is this? His father demanded. Dad, I can explain. Oh, you're going to explain, I said. But first, let me provide some context. I clicked to the next slide, which showed our fertility treatment timeline. For the past 4 years, your son and I have been trying to have a child. We've spent our entire savings on IVF treatments. I've had countless procedures, dozens of hormone injections, and 3 failed embryo transfers. It's been the most painful experience of my life. Click. Next slide. Marcus's phone records. 6 months ago, while I was in the middle of our 3rd IVF cycle, Marcus started an affair with a woman named Jennifer Martinez who works in his department. They've exchanged over 3,000 text messages and phone calls. Click. Credit card statements. While telling me we couldn't afford another round of IVF, which costs about $20,000, Marcus spent $15,000 on hotel rooms, dinners, and gifts for Jennifer. Marcus's mother was crying now. His father looked like he might have a heart attack. His brother was staring at Marcus with pure disgust. But the worst part, I continued, my voice eerily calm, happened 3 weeks ago. Marcus and I went to our fertility specialist to get the results of our final IVF attempt. Dr. Morrison told us the embryo hadn't implanted, that I wasn't pregnant, that after 4 years of trying, it was over. I was devastated. I was crying in that office, grieving for the children I'll never have. And Marcus? He was on his phone texting Jennifer. Then he walked out. Left me alone in that office to call his mistress. Click. A screenshot of the text messages from that day. He told her I was being dramatic. That I was practically wailing. That it was embarrassing. He mocked my infertility, make his mistress feel better about the fact that he'd had to cut their lunch date short to attend the appointment with me. The room exploded. Marcus's mother was sobbing. His father was shouting. His brother stood up and actually shoved Marcus. How could you? Sarah has been nothing but good to you. She's been trying to give you a family and you do this. You cheat on her and then mock her pain. It's not like that. Sarah, please, you're making it sound worse than it was. Worse than it was. I stood up and everyone went quiet. Marcus, you abandoned me at the lowest point of my life so you could comfort another woman. You spent money we desperately needed on your affair. You lied to me for 6 months. You made me think you were my partner when you were actually my enemy. How could it possibly sound worse than it actually was? If you're loving this revenge story, hit that like button and drop a comment saying karma if you think Marcus got what he deserved. And subscribe for more stories like this. Before Marcus could respond, Jennifer walked in, followed by Tyler. She saw the room full of people, saw the projector screen, saw Marcus sitting at the table looking like he wanted to die, and she froze. What is this? Tyler, what's going on? Surprise, Tyler said flatly. Have a seat, Jennifer. You're going to want to sit down for this. Jennifer's parents were there, her sister, her best friends. She looked at them in confusion, then back at Marcus, then at me. I don't understand. Let me help you, I said. I clicked to a new slide, this one showing a photo of Tyler and Jennifer from Instagram, happy and in love. Everyone, this is Jennifer Martinez. She's Marcus's mistress. She's also Tyler's girlfriend of 3 years. Or at least she was. Tyler, would you like to say something? Tyler stood up, his jaw clenched. Jennifer told me she was working late most nights. Told me she was at the gym, at her friend's house, at networking events. I never questioned it because I trusted her. Turns out she was with Marcus. She's been lying to both of us, playing us both, and apparently having a great time doing it. Jennifer's mother stood up. Jennifer Maria Martinez, tell me this isn't true. Tell me you haven't been having an affair with a married man. Jennifer's face crumpled. Mom, I didn't mean for it to happen. Marcus told me his marriage was over, that his wife was cold and controlling, that they were basically roommates. I told you that because it's what you wanted to hear. Marcus shouted. You knew I was married. You knew what we were doing was wrong. Oh, so now you're throwing me under the bus. You said you loved me. You said you were going to leave her. I never said that. I never promised you anything. They were screaming at each other now, and I just sat back and watched. Marcus's boss stood up, disgusted. I've heard enough. Marcus, consider yourself on indefinite suspension pending an investigation. Having an affair with a subordinate violates company policy. You'll be lucky if you're not fired. Jennifer's boss, we'd invited him too, nodded in agreement. Same for you, Miss Martinez. This is a massive conflict of interest and creates a hostile work environment. You'll both hear from HR on Monday. Marcus's father looked at his son with disappointment so profound it was almost physical. Your mother and I raised you better than this. We taught you honor, integrity, commitment. And this is what you do. You destroy a good woman who loved you, who tried to give you a family. I'm ashamed to call you my son. Marcus broke down crying. Dad, please. Don't. Just don't. Sarah, I'm so sorry. You deserved so much better than this. He took his wife's hand and walked out. Marcus's brother followed without a word, leaving Marcus sitting there in his own personal hell. Jennifer's parents were equally disgusted. They left without even speaking to her. Her friends followed. Tyler looked at Jennifer one last time and said, I loved you. I would have given you everything. But you threw it all away for a married man who doesn't even respect you enough to take responsibility for what you did together. We're done. Lose my number. Within 20 minutes, everyone had left except Marcus, Jennifer, me, and our private investigator who was still filming everything. Marcus and Jennifer sat at opposite ends of the table, both crying, both destroyed. And I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no guilt, just a cold emptiness where my heart used to be. Sarah, please, Marcus said. I know I fucked up. I know I hurt you in the worst possible way. But we've been together for 8 years. Doesn't that mean anything? Can't we try to work through this? Work through this? Marcus, you mocked my infertility to your mistress. You abandoned me when I needed you most. You spent money we needed on hotel rooms for her. You lied to me every single day for 6 months. What exactly is there to work through? I made a mistake. People make mistakes. Doesn't everyone deserve a second chance? Second chances are for people who are genuinely sorry, who show remorse, who take accountability. You're only sorry because you got caught. You're only remorseful because everyone you care about now knows what you did. If I hadn't overheard that phone call, you'd still be lying to me. You'd still be with her. You'd still be spending our money on your affair. So no, Marcus. You don't get a second chance. Jennifer was sobbing now. I've lost everything. Tyler left me, my parents won't speak to me, my friends hate me, I'm probably going to lose my job. Is this what you wanted, Sarah? To destroy my life? I looked at her with zero sympathy. You helped destroy mine first. You knew Marcus was married. You knew what you were doing was wrong. You just didn't care because you were having fun playing the other woman. Well, congratulations. You got what you wanted. You got Marcus. Enjoy him. Comment below if you think Jennifer deserved what happened to her. And subscribe if you believe in karma and justice, because this story isn't over yet. I stood up to leave and Marcus grabbed my arm. Sarah, wait. Please. I love you. I've always loved you. Jennifer was just a distraction, a mistake. You're my wife. You're the one I want to be with. I pulled my arm away. You don't love me, Marcus. You love the idea of me. The me who cooked your dinners and did your laundry, and went through hell trying to give you a baby. But that version of me died in Dr. Morrison's office when you walked out. The woman standing here now. She doesn't love you anymore. She doesn't even like you. And she's going to take everything you have in the divorce. What do you mean? I smiled that cold smile again. I mean, I've consulted with a lawyer. In our state, infidelity is grounds for fault-based divorce. I have documented evidence of your affair, text messages, phone records, credit card statements, photos, and now video testimony of you admitting everything in front of witnesses. You spent marital assets on your affair, which means I'm entitled to compensation. My lawyer estimates I'll get the house, the cars, 3/4 of your retirement accounts, and substantial alimony. By the time I'm done with you, Marcus, you'll be lucky if you have enough money left to rent a studio apartment. His face went pale. You can't do that. Watch me. Oh, and one more thing. I'm not infertile. Everyone in the room went still. Marcus stared at me. What? I went back to see Dr. Morrison after you left. She ran additional tests, consulted with specialists. Turns out the reason the IVF kept failing wasn't because of me. It was because of you. Your sperm motility is so low that natural conception is virtually impossible, and even with IVF, the success rates are minimal. You're the reason we couldn't have a baby, Marcus. Not me. You. I'd never seen someone's face crumble like that before. The realization hitting him that he'd blamed me, mocked me, abandoned me, all for a fertility problem that was his fault. Jennifer was staring at him in horror, probably realizing that if she'd been hoping for a future with him, children weren't going to be part of that picture. No. That's not. Dr. Morrison never said. Because you were never there for the follow-up appointments. You were too busy with Jennifer to come to half our appointments. If you'd been there, you would have known. But you weren't. You chose her over me, and now you get to live with the knowledge that everything you put me through, all the pain and blame and shame, it was all because of you. I walked out of that restaurant with my head held high. Behind me, I could hear Marcus sobbing, Jennifer trying to comfort him, and him pushing her away, the private investigator packing up his equipment. I got in my car, drove home, and for the first time in weeks, I slept through the night. The divorce proceedings took 3 months. Marcus tried to fight it at first, but his lawyer told him he didn't have a case. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and trying to contest the divorce would just make things worse and more expensive. In the end, he agreed to my terms. I got the house, both cars, 70% of his retirement accounts, and alimony of $3,000 a month for the next 5 years. Jennifer lost her job after the HR investigation. Her relationship with her family remained strained. Tyler moved on and, last I heard, was dating someone new. As for me, I'm rebuilding. I sold the house because I couldn't live there anymore, too many memories of the life I thought I was building. I bought a smaller place across town, started therapy to work through the trauma of infertility and betrayal, and began looking into adoption as a single mother. It turns out I don't need Marcus to have a family. I never did. People ask me if I regret the way I exposed Marcus and Jennifer. If I think the public humiliation was too much, if I went too far. The answer is no. They deserve to face consequences for their actions. They deserve to have everyone they loved see them for who they really were. And more than that, I deserved vindication. I deserved for people to know that I wasn't crazy, wasn't dramatic, wasn't the problem. I was a woman who'd been betrayed in the cruelest possible way, and I fought back. Thank you for staying with me through this entire story. Please leave a comment telling me your thoughts. Did Marcus get what he deserved, or was my revenge too harsh? Should I have just quietly divorced him, or was the public exposure necessary? I read every single comment and your opinions matter to me. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. And if you know someone dealing with infidelity or betrayal, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need to know that it's okay to stand up for ourselves, to demand respect, to fight back when someone tries to destroy us. Thank you for being here with me. It means everything. Marcus reached out last week. Sent me an email saying he'd been in therapy, that he understood now how badly he'd hurt me, that he wished he could take it all back. He said he was sorry, that he'd never forgive himself for what he did. I read the email once and deleted it. His apology is too late and means nothing. The man who mocked my infertility while I was crying in a doctor's office doesn't get my forgiveness. He doesn't get my understanding. He doesn't get anything from me ever again. I'm not the same woman I was 6 months ago. That woman was soft, trusting, willing to sacrifice everything for love. This woman is harder, wiser, less willing to give pieces of herself away. Some people might call that bitter. I call it self-preservation. I call it growth. I call it refusing to be a victim. Marcus wanted to teach me pain. He wanted me to feel small and broken and worthless. Instead, he taught me strength. He taught me that I don't need anyone's validation to know my worth. He taught me that revenge, when justified, can be its own form of healing. He thought he'd destroyed me when he walked out of Dr. Morrison's office. Instead, he freed me. So thank you, Marcus. Thank you for showing me who you really were. Thank you for being so cruel that I had no choice but to become strong. Thank you for giving me a reason to fight back. And thank you for learning, finally, what real pain feels like. You earned every second of it. To everyone reading this, watching this, hearing my story, if someone treats you the way Marcus treated me, don't let them get away with it. Don't protect their reputation while they destroy yours. Don't suffer in silence because you're afraid of making waves. Burn it all down if you have to. Tell the truth. Demand accountability. Fight back. You deserve better than crumbs of respect from someone who promised you the world. I got my revenge. I got my vindication. And now I get my fresh start. Without Marcus, without Jennifer, without anyone who thinks my pain is entertaining or my grief is dramatic. I'm rebuilding on my own terms, and for the first time in years, I'm excited about the future. Marcus learned pain. Now he gets to live with it forever. And I get to live knowing I didn't let him break me. I broke him back. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat.